Okay, good morning. Here we are in the coffee shop. Butterbean? What the fuck are you talking about, butterbean? I'll show you the butterbean, my friend. Butterbean was like 400 pounds. How do you relate that to me? Seriously. I'm half his weight. Sometimes what you say is not always very brilliant. That's what I'll say. Not very bright. Anyway. Well, here we are in my day-to-day right now. We're going to talk today about day-to-day living in Bangkok. And now, more so than ever, I'm leading a much better life. Not that I've led a bad life for the past, say, 15, 20 years. 20, 25 years. But I'm living a much smarter, leaner life, and I've been free for a long time. I've never really felt tied down, and some people may not think Thailand is all that free, but I'm free to do pretty much what I want. Now, maybe there's some things that I don't necessarily want to do that I couldn't do if I wanted to do them, but that's neither here nor there. Everything that I want to do, I can do, pretty much. So, that leads me into this subject. Now, people romanticize Thailand like it's some kind of paradise. I say this all the time. They come here for a few weeks. They eat pad thai. They eat pad krapao. They take selfies at temples. And some people, well, they fall in love. Some knuckleheads. Hey, Charles. Thank you. I like it. Some people fall in love, and some people, they get scammed. And, some people, they actually get both. But the one thing that I will say, well, then they go home and they tell everybody at home how amazing Thailand is. I got ripped off, but it's amazing there. What I will say is that visiting is very different. Very, very different from living here. It's quite a bit different. You're not a 2-week millionaire when you live here all the time, unless you're a millionaire. But generally, you're not a 2-week millionaire. Okay. All right. What are we getting into already? Let me see something here. This looks a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Agents are charging to do the retirement visas $55,000 because the banks are forcing insurance on new retirees to get the bank accounts. I haven't heard anything about that. Not at all. I know, but it is more difficult, and it may cost a little bit more for the people who are just starting and just getting their retirement visas. So then you should have insurance when you're here. So get the insurance. What's the problem? They're not forcing anybody. Really, the truth is Thailand should get people to have insurance all the time. They should be insured. So what's the problem with that? And quite frankly, if you open up a bank account, whether you have insurance or not should have no bearing. If you have the visa, you should be able to open a bank account. I'm talking about a retirement visa, a marriage visa, something like that. I'm not talking about a tourist visa or just being a tourist on a visa exemption. The bank, it's not up to the bank, really. It should not be up to the bank. Let's put it that way. The bank, and the thing is the only bank that I heard that anybody has had any problems with is Bangkok Bank. Nobody's saying it, but this is just the bank that has crack down the most, and they want people to hold the money in there for longer, and immigration doesn't even want that. So I don't know where all these other banks stand, but I mean, I have 8 bank accounts. And it just kind of happened over the years where I got all these accounts. You know, I opened up one account before I even moved to Thailand. Before I even lived here, I had a bank account with Thai Military Bank. And I was here, I didn't have a visa, I was here on an exemption. And I opened up the account. I said, listen, I'm going to be moving here. I want to transfer some money here. I need to have a bank account. Can I open the account? Okay, no problem. It's a piece of cake. Now, the bank is not there anymore, but Thai Military's bank is all over the place. So, and then, you know, I don't know which the next one was. Maybe CASHAPP, because I was teaching English. They needed to pay into CASHAPP. So, okay, got my CASHAPP account. And then somehow I got 3 Bangkok bank accounts. I have a UOB account. I have the CASHAPP. What did I say? Okay, I have the CASHAPP. I have the Thai Military Bank, so that's 6. And then I have SCB, so that's 7. And I think that's it. So I have 7 accounts. And it just kind of happened that way. So, you know, if that's what they're asking now, well, then, no. I don't have any U.S. dollars account. I don't need them. What do I need it for? I don't need to keep U.S. dollars over here. I can keep the money in the United States. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. You know, this kind of stuff is, listen, coming over here, it might be an annoyance for some people. Generally, if you get insured as you should, you don't have to, but as you should, and you get your retirement visa if you're over 50, or you get a marriage visa, or you get an ED visa, or whatever it might be, then you should be okay. Heading to the embassy in an hour for my certificate of single status and certified copy of my passport. Gonna get married. Ah, okay. And for my son's birth certificate. Yeah, I did that a long time ago. I did that with both my kids, and it was very simple. Is Thailand strict on medication visitors may be taking like Japan is? Not really. It depends on what kind of medication it is. That's what I'll say. It depends on the type of medication. If you're bringing in something like, you know, Vicodin, if you're bringing in 300 Vicodin, they're going to go, oh, this is for personal use. But if you're bringing in 30 or stuff like that, well, do you have a prescription for them? What I would say is if you're not bringing in very many, they don't recognize some prescriptions from the U.S., but if you bring in a prescription that says, I have a prescription for all these things, generally you'll be okay, but you don't have a large quantity of pills. And I'll tell you, generally what I do is I stick them in with my vitamins, and they don't ask any questions. I've had them open up my suitcases and see 100 different pills. Most of them were vitamins. And they just go, oh, I got some pills here. Yeah. Okay. And that was it. Now, if you bring in boxes of, let's say, Viagra, they're going to be like, oh, you're selling them. And then you're screwed. So, anyway. All right, let me get into this here. Living here is very different than visiting here. And, really, living here is real. Visiting here is not real life. That's why you're a 2-week millionaire. You come here, you blow all your money that you got, or that you bring, or whatever it may be. You blow a bunch of money, and you go back home, and you start life over again, and it's very real. And that's why getting on the plane is rather traumatic for some people. Leaving Thailand is so traumatic. That's why you see the guys at the airport with their girl crying, "Oh, I'm going to miss you, darling. Oh, I miss you so much." And she's like meeting another guy at the airport a half hour after you take off. Or maybe she's not. You know, there are plenty of girls out there who are not. But once the novelty of Thailand, you know, living in Thailand wears off, what is left is the day-to-day grind, the routine, you know, and setting yourself up for some things to do. And that's really about it. You know, you get into the rhythm, you get into the routine, and that's where your real story begins. And that's why, listen, you hear things from YouTubers, but you don't hear about all the guys that are just living their life, very peaceful, very laid back. They might be in a village, they might be wherever they are. They're just living their life. They wake up, you know, maybe they got an errand to run, they do that, they have a coffee or they have breakfast, and then they come home, and everybody has their own routine. Just like me. You know, in the beginning, I was kind of focused on, you know, making the most out of the money that I had and surviving, and maybe a little bit later on when I went online, I started selling things online, just trying to make sure that I had enough money and that I was putting some money away. And then I got credentialed, I got my media credentials, and for about 12 years or so, I covered boxing and travel, and so I had things to do. But by this time I was in the grind. I mean, you know, when I first got here, I said it a while ago, it was like, wow, I have nothing to do. I have money. I have freedom. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to be, you know, I don't have a girlfriend anymore. I don't have to be home by a certain time or people are going to be worried about me. I don't have any of that. I had nothing to do, nobody to answer to. That's when, you know, I had no responsibility. Well, by the time I started, you know, getting into the media and doing these things, I had responsibilities. And then I had a kid, you know, and then, you know, I had another kid. And so I got responsibilities. I had a family. So I had to think about that. And it's not just like, oh, I'm going to go and do what I want. I'm going to do everything I want. I don't care about them. You know, and then really when I got with the boxing team, that was for about 10 years. And then that really helped me, and it helped me prosper. And then I thought, all right, I'm somewhat stable now. Which is, if you're moving to Thailand, what you want is to cover your nut, stash some money. If you don't have plenty of money when you come here, you stash some money so that if you're not earning, you can live for 2 years without working. Now, you know, that might be 500,000 for you. It might be 1,000,000 baht, whatever it might be. But that's what you do. You set yourself up to where if you have a problem, you got a little bit of room to breathe. And okay, I was on the boxing team and, you know, was working very hard and everything was good. And then a few things started to go a little south and I thought, oh, wow, this might not be the perfect gig. Even though I loved it, it was exactly what I wanted to do. But after a while I figured, I'm not sure. And it was because the thing is, if you get involved in a sport here, generally, the Thais want all the credit. They want to do everything here. And if you're doing it behind the scenes, you got to kind of let them have the credit. That's kind of how they think. You're training a guy. I trained a guy for 2 fights. They were punishing him. Thank you, Charles. Joke D to you. Good luck with that. It'll be easy. They were punishing him because they found an illicit substance in his blood. They tested all the fighters, and they found that a couple of fighters were using yaba. So, thank you very much, Gabe. So, you know, I kind of was thinking about it. They had me train this guy, and I got this guy into the best shape he had ever been in. And he walked through his opponents. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, we want to train this guy again. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so you're taking him away from me, even though he had his 2 best fights that he had ever had to date with me. And I took the credit. I was like, hey, man, that was all me and him. He worked his ass off. This kid worked so hard. And he still works hard. He's still, I don't know if he's still boxing, but he might be doing Muay Thai. All right, that sounds good. Well, I never went anywhere. I'm still here. I've still been around. Anyway, once the boxing gig ended, some things started happening with the Thais, and then you know, they were not too happy with the guy who I was working for, and then he was not happy with them. You know, it had to do with money, and you know, he was like, I've been shelling out all this money and I get nothing in return from them. And they're supposed to be giving money back to him, and he didn't get any. So we ended, that was an end to it. We thought maybe it would work, but it didn't work. And so then I thought, okay, what am I gonna do? I had money, I was doing okay, and I spent a ton of money on YouTube. I had no idea what to do. I was using an iPhone 3, I think. And I had no idea what to do, how to make videos. I didn't know anything. And I started doing it, and one video took off, and I think now it has almost 900,000 views, which is a lot for me. And I started making some money from it, and I saw, oh wow, I can make a little money from this. Then, you know, time went by, and the money has been up and down, and you know, now I'm in a position where I don't really need the money so much. It's always nice to have it, but, and you know, traveling costs. That's just how it is. You want to go somewhere, it costs you money. No matter where you go, it costs. I mean, if I go to the river right now, it's going to cost me money. I'm going to have to pay for a taxi or for the sky train or whatever. And then when I get there, I got to pay for the boat. And then, oh, well, I'm going to have to eat while I'm there. So, you know, oh, maybe I'll get a coffee while I'm there too. Everything costs. So now, I would say I probably know a little bit more after 12 or 13 years than I knew in the beginning. And I'm just having fun. I'm not out chasing women or drinking beer with other burnt out expats, washed up drunks, or whatever you want to call it. I'm a lot more focused, and I know what I want. And I've built a life here, and every day really is designed around achieving my goals, whatever they may be. Right now, you know, I have this goal. I've got a good diet I'm sticking to. It's not, I wouldn't call it a diet really. It's just changing the way I eat. You know, I don't eat any junk food now. About the worst that I have is this, and this is just milk and coffee. So there's a little sugar in the milk, but that's about all that I have that's not very good for me. Everything else is excellent. So between that, trying to achieve my goals with, I'm trying to achieve some goals with YouTube, and you know, some other things with my family and everything like that, I feel really good. And if you really want to know what living in Bangkok is actually like when you're not a tourist, the only way to do that is just to say, I'm going to live there. I'm moving here. I am here. And stop being a tourist. You don't have to, you know, some people go, oh, well, he lives like a Thai. What's living like a Thai? You think Thais live that much differently from foreigners? I mean, really. Now, what most people are talking about when they say that is poor Thais. Oh, he's living in a really inexpensive apartment. He's eating only Thai food. He takes Thai transportation. He doesn't do anything where he's spending a bunch of money. Okay, but to be honest, that's not reality for most people. Most people don't come here and want to scrape by. They don't want to just exist. They want to live a decent life. You know, I mean, listen, if I can't order a steak, a good steak, or take my wife and kids out for sushi or for Italian food once in a while, what is the point? You think I just want to go to a little stall every day and eat food that, you know, is the same meal every single day? 2000 is enough. 1500 can be enough, but you got to kind of watch your money, and you have to pick and choose where you live. I got a lot of friends that live down by Sukhumvit. I got several. They live down by Sukhumvit and they're paying 30, 40. Before, I had this guy who was paying 80,000 for this place. Or no, he was paying 120 and his girl was costing him 80,000 a month. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're pissing your money away. And he didn't listen. And you know, sometimes I think if you want to live a reasonably good lifestyle here, it's not that difficult. It's pretty easy to do. You don't always have to live down by Sukhumvit. I mean, if that's what you want to be surrounded by people, you want to be surrounded by traffic, you want to be in that kind of city life, then that's fine. But you know what? You know, it's not always the way that people want to live. All right, what is this here? Tell me something, bro. Why didn't you buy a property there? I'm thinking of it. However, a lot of friends are saying don't and just rent. What are your thoughts? I'm a dog owner, so she is a factor. So find a house, find an apartment that allows dogs. If you want to buy a property, I know a guy right now, he's been trying to get this property. He has a house, and the house is paid for, 100%. It's like a, you know, 2.5 million house. It's not that much, but you know, it's a nice little house. It's for him and his wife, and it's fine. Okay? It's not great, but it's good enough. Now, that house is paid off. He's buying another house, or he and his wife are buying another house, which I think is 2.8 million or something like that. He doesn't want to sell that house yet. He wants to sell it as soon, whenever they get the price, close to the price that they want. So he's buying this other house. Now, I don't think he thinks he's going to end up moving back to the United States, because he probably won't have to. You never know. But hopefully, by the time he gets the new house, he'll have the other house on the market. He'll get the money from that. He'll just start making payments on the other house from the money that he has, and then he'll pay it off that way. He made a little bit of a profit, right? Now, we went to look at houses. We've looked at houses and looked at how. I personally don't think it's worth it unless you're paying cash, 100% cash. Aside from my initial set cost here, once I get that done, I can easily, comfortably with my entire family for 30K. Well, that's pretty good. 30K is real good. I mean, that's 1,000 baht a day. That's not much. Some people, listen, the house in the south that we have is not a house that you're going to run into in the United States. I mean, it's a house, it's clean, and it's fine. You know, we got a Western toilet now. I don't think we have enough power outlets, but that's another story. But we have that house. That house costs next to nothing. Now, it doesn't cost us anything now because it's completely paid off a long time ago. But if we buy a new house, that's like 40,000. I mean, you know, getting 6-7 million baht. And my wife is like, oh, you just get it financed. I'm like, you get it financed, you're going to be paying interest through the nose. And you're going to pay like 40,000 baht a month. And for what? What if I decide I don't want to live here anymore? I still got to pay that 40,000 every month. And I just don't want to do it. I don't want to have a nut over my head. I don't want to have that debt, you know. I don't know if you should sell your house. Have you ever been here before? I mean, you know, it's like, what knowledge do you have of Thailand? How confident are you that you're going to live here forever? Do you want to have a place to go back when you go back home? It's all up to you, man. You know? Now, listen, today's a little bit overcast, but it's nice and cool. The weather is good. It's 83 degrees, high in 91, low is 78. Feel like temperature 85, and the humidity is 78. It's actually, it really, with the breeze, which is not that strong of a breeze, it feels pretty good today. The air quality is 61. It's supposed to be rain all this week. And the bot right now, 32.35, which is not great, but hopefully it'll trend upwards and we'll get 33 again. So that's something else to think about. But, you know, the time here, sometimes you have a great time. There are times I wake up, I go outside, and I go, oh my God, look at today. It's a beautiful day. I get on the back of a motorcycle, come over here, go somewhere else, do whatever I'm going to do. I'm like, man, today is fantastic. Oh my God, it's so nice today. And then good things are happening. You know, I hit all the green lights and, you know, everything like that is happening. And then there are those days you wake up and, you know, you get a snarl from your barista. And then you go outside and the taxi driver's being a bit of a knucklehead. You know, I mean, no place is perfect. So sometimes it's great, sometimes it's kind of monotonous, sometimes it's just a routine. Sometimes it's not so great. But to be completely honest, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, you know, this is life. Life's a roller coaster. You just kind of want to minimize the ups and downs so that you're a little more stable. Now, for those of you who don't know already after 30 minutes, my name is Scott and I'm an American who's been living in Thailand for 30 plus years. I just want to say, if you like this stream, if you like the videos I put up, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed already, please do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you stay informed of all the upcoming videos and streams. That would be great. And also, if you want to send me a comment, whatever it may be, a question, you want to send me a Dear Scott letter, you want to get a consultation, a paid consultation, email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Thank you very much, Gabe. I appreciate it. Give Gabe a thumbs up and a choke D. There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's it. That wraps up that little portion. So let's talk about the real Bangkok. And, you know, the thing is I've always woken up early. Always, in my whole life. Even when I was in, you know, junior high school, I woke up 5 or 6 o'clock. I don't even need an alarm clock now. I don't need an alarm clock. I wake up every day between 4 and 6. Well, usually I don't sleep until 6. I would say between 4 and 5. It may be 4:30, whatever. It just depends. Because, you know, Bangkok wakes up early, and I always subscribe to the early bird gets the worm. All right. 30K is par for me in Phetchabun after I have 2 new Toyota Hiluxes and Fortuner and newly built house. So you have everything you need. Furnished modern appliances, all paid in full. I made sure everything was set up like my Hawaiian home. Wow, that sounds good. What ratio of your money you have in the U.S. and how often you transfer money from the U.S.? How often do you visit from the U.S.? You got any questions? Consider a super chat. I would say probably 95% of my money is in the United States. I get my money from the United States. It's in the United States. And every so often I get some money here, but it's not all that often. maybe once a month I get maybe 5,000 baht, 10,000 baht, something like that. How often do you transfer money from the U.S. and how often do you visit? Well, how often? You know, it depends, because sometimes I don't transfer the same amount of times. Usually I transfer it twice a month. Maybe I'll transfer 3 times, but it just depends. And I visit the United States. Now I try to visit every year. If I lived in Bangkok, it would be 100K a month, easy. It doesn't have to be, but I will tell you that we spend quite a bit more than that. And I mean, you know, I've talked about it. My food bill is 25, 30,000, plus my wife spends money on food. And it's because I don't skimp when I buy food. And when I go out and buy food, I always like to have plenty of food in the freezer. Anytime you want something, there's steaks, pork chops, sausages, hamburgers, lamb chops, and then, you know, my wife gets stuff that she's making, so she's got ground pork, and we just have all kinds of stuff. We got 2 refrigerators, and they're both full. And so we spend a lot of money on food. We save quite a bit of money. We put that in savings. We got insurance for 4 people. Plus, in addition to just saving the cash, my wife has 2 savings plans at work. Yeah, so, you know, you can easily spend 100,000, and our rent is really cheap. Now, our electric, I got my electric bill the other day, it was 5,072 baht. My friend who has a house, his bill is 3,000. I wish my bill was 3,000. When the bill is 4,000, I'm happy. You know. So, you know, my electric is almost as much as my rent. Then we got, you know, we got the usual. We got internet. We have Netflix. We have Spotify. You know, we have a whole bunch of stuff, little bills that we have to pay, and everything adds up. And then you got, you know, medicine. We're always getting medicine for people. Or maybe somebody's paying a visit to the doctor. We always got to pay for that. Visit to the dentist. You know, I mean, it's just with 4 people. And, you know, now, it's like my kid went to do the laundry the other day. I said, listen, it's 8 o'clock at night. Why don't you just give it to the lady and let the lady do it? It'll cost you 100 baht. You can come back the next day and all your laundry's done, folded nice and neat. I go, why don't you do that? I'll pay for the lady. Now, he started working. He goes, oh, you're not going to pay for my laundry? I go, hey, what's the deal? It's your laundry. You know, your mother's not doing the laundry. So why are you not going to pay the 120 baht or whatever that it is? You know, and he's like, ugh. But, you know, it costs to live. I usually chill in Pattaya. Monthly rent is 12,000 baht, 15 minutes away from the beach. That's all right. I mean, the 12,000 is not that much. I pay 7,000, and we got a townhouse. And this is the other thing. If you're smart, whether you're in Pattaya or you're in Bangkok or you're in Chiang Mai or wherever you are, I always give this tip and nobody really tries that I know. You don't go and try to rent an apartment. You go out and try to find a townhouse or a house, and you get the house for probably less than what some apartments cost. Some apartments 20, 30,000. I mean, that's kind of normal. But you get a house, I mean, you get a house in Bangkok pretty easily for 10 to 15,000 baht. But it's not going to be in Sukhumvit. If you're down by Sukhumvit, it might be 30,000. So what, you know, I don't know. To me, I'm not going down to Sukhumvit all the time. Oh, well, it's going to cost me money to go down there. Well, if I do decide to go down there, maybe it's twice a month, and it might cost me 300 baht to go and come back, 400 baht to go and come back. So, 2,000 to 5,000. All right, 5,000's a bit, but 2,000 is nothing. All right, let me see here. Yeah, we're talking about waking up early. If you're going to be in Thailand, generally, people out in the villages for sure, they're not sleeping until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon most of the time. They're waking up early. They wake up with the chickens. And like I said, I'm usually up, 5:30, something like that. And I always wake up, I wash my face, I splash some water on my face. I have a glass of water. I might have a hot tea with some mint in it. And then now, I weigh myself almost every morning. And to see how I'm responding from the diet that I'm on now, what I'm eating. Sometimes I give myself a shot. I get the TRT. I do that twice a week. I check my emails. I look at my comments or messages, look at my YouTube, see how I'm doing, and then that's it. I usually head out after that. And by 9 o'clock, I'm usually here. I'm usually here, or I'm out running an errand somewhere, or I'm doing something that I really want to do, whatever that may be. But if I'm just going to a coffee shop or a cafe, I'm usually there by 9 o'clock. That's kind of my time, because it's before the heat, before the major traffic, depending on where you're going, and all the noise. And I like it to be, when I come here, it's nice and quiet. You hear, there's no sound right now. All you hear is the air conditioners, and you hear, every once in a while, you hear some people talking. And in another 25 minutes or so, 8 minutes, there's going to be some music playing. And in 25 minutes, the people will start coming in. But then, generally I do some work. I write some stuff. I look through my money. I look through my financials. I go online and look through YouTube. I upload. I render videos and stuff like that. I have myself a dirty coffee or an espresso. There's no distractions, and I can just work. And what I found is between, usually by 6 o'clock, I'm not fully awake, but by about 7, from about 7 to 12 or 1 o'clock, my mind is clear. That's when I always wrote. I would write for magazines and stuff like that. I always wrote in the morning when my mind was nice and clear. After about 1 o'clock, I start getting a little hazy. Then maybe I have an espresso. I wake up again. I look over some things. I look at my notes and stuff. And then, by the evening, my family's home, and I spend time with them. And, maybe we watch some TV or just BS or whatever, So that's how I think. I think you don't, I'm not a night owl. I have been, but I don't think, if you're not somebody going out drinking and partying and carousing with women, you don't need to be up late at night at 2 in the morning. Nothing really good happens after midnight unless you're with a chick on the way home. Nothing really happens that's that good. Now I don't really eat like the same way that I did before. When I was in the boxing gym, I ate really well. When I worked in boxing, it was really, I did things very, very strictly, and just like I do now. And I don't usually eat for pleasure. Although if I have half a glass of wine or a glass of wine, I do that. I eat for fuel. Breakfast. Usually I have maybe 3 eggs, something like that. I have maybe a piece of cheddar cheese. Maybe 1 slice of bread, some Greek yogurt, maybe some walnut, either espresso or tea, and that's about it. I want everything to count that I'm eating. So that's what I try to do. You can't come here and eat like a tourist every day. Oh, I'm going out to this Italian restaurant, and tomorrow I'm going out for a steak, and I'm going to have this barbecued ribs and baked potatoes. And you can't go out eating like that every day when you get a little older. Maybe when you're young you can get away with it, or maybe if you've got an extremely fast metabolism you can get away with it. I can't get away with it. And you can't, really expect to feel that great if you're not eating well. You don't have the right fuel in your body. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You got a souped up Volkswagen Beetle, Volkswagen Bug, and you're putting in great fuel in there and great oil and everything is the best. Well, then you're gonna get the most out of it. If you're putting in shit fuel, you're not gonna get that much out of it. Well over 100,000 when your rent is my rent is not 8K, it's 7K. I don't blow money at all. We save a lot of money, and we spend money. It's not 100K, it's more than that. I mean, to be honest. And I pay the bills. That's all I do. I pay my bills, and I go out. I bought some clothes the other day. That was 1,500 baht. I bought some food from Bangkok Bob's. That was 1,500. I bought some groceries. That was 3,500. So it goes, man. It's Nicholas has to go to school. We got to pay for school. He needs books. We pay for his books. He needs transportation. He needs food when he's there. All that stuff comes out, and it all costs. Now, Alex is working, and so we don't really give him anything. He socks away his own money. He's good. He's taken care of. So I enjoy the serenity of the late night, early morning. My mind is most clear. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I wake up at 4 o'clock, and you know what? For about 2.5, 3 hours, nobody is stirring. There's nobody awake. And so everything is just peaceful. And my mind, once I get through the fog of being asleep and I wake up, I splash some water on my face. Well, then I'm good. I'm nice and clear, and I've got like 3 hours to do stuff, and I get like 6 hours of stuff done. And sometimes the stuff that I have to do is organizing things and oh yeah, and listen, that stuff is not cheap. Every month the food for the cats is, let me see here. I bought, it was, what was it, 5 kilos or 7 kilos? No, it was 2 kilos, and then it was 5 kilos. 5 kilos for about 750 baht. They gave us a little box we put the food in, plastic box. All right, whatever. So it's 1,500 just for their food, and then we buy them other things. We buy, well, it's so funny you say that, Paul. Thai families live off of 20,000 a month, and also Thai families live off of 500,000 a month. There are many different levels that Thais live at. It's not just 20,000 a month. That's ridiculous. Some Thais live off of 20,000. Maybe they're living by themselves. Some people might be living off less. They're living in a little 3,000 baht a month apartment. They're eating, and that's 4,000 baht. And they have to pay, 200 baht for electric. And, that's how some people live. But that's how it is everywhere in the world. People live at different levels. And they live to how, some people live how they want to live, and some people live how they have to live. So, I'm very grateful now because we're saving a lot more money than we used to. But yeah, we have to buy sand for the cats, which I don't know how much that is, but it's got to be 15 bucks, not maybe 10 bucks, 10, 12 bucks. We buy that at least once or twice a month. So let's say 25 for that. That's $75. We buy them soft food, which is about every 10 days. We buy them soft food, and that's, how much are they? 20 baht each. You buy 5 for 100. So we get like 10 every 10 days. So that's 200 baht, that's 800 baht. There's another 25 bucks. So Now you're looking at $100. We spend $100 just on the pets, which is crazy. You know, and then of course, Nancy had to go, we had her tubes tied, which is, it's a lot more serious than a dog going and have his balls clipped off, or a cat going and having his balls clipped off. This was, they had to have the cat in the office, in their, you know, their room with all the cats and dogs, you know, in a kennel for about a week because of the surgery. And she's kind of tiny. So that probably cost what? It was, I think it was only about, well, not only, but it was something like $5,000 plus like for the procedure, and it was like $3,500 for her to be in the hospital. So $8,500 baht. Now, I told my wife, I'm not paying for this. And usually I don't buy the food, right? Right. I don't buy the food. I go, it's your cat, your responsibility. I'm not buying any of that. You live off of 60,000, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is the thing. It's good we saved money. We were able to give the kids money. We're able to do this. We're able to do that. That's a good thing. Some of it's because I got my Social Security now. Some of it's because my wife is earning more now, and she still wants to work, and she still, I think she still needs to work. Why wouldn't she? So it's good we can do that. But, you know, some guys, I don't know, Paul, you live alone? You live alone off of 60,000. Well, you got 4 people. Just imagine you have 4 people and everybody costs the same. That's 240,000 baht. Now, you could probably do it for 120 with the extra food and some of the extra expenses. It really depends. Depends on you. Depends on what you want, how you want to live. I used to go out and buy books all the time. I used to spend 500 to 1,000 baht on books every month, at least. I'd go to Kinokuniya, and I'd see a book, it'd be 800 baht, and I'd see another one, it'd be, 400. I go, okay, I'll get these, 1,200 baht. I don't do that anymore because I got too many books. Now I want to sell the books. 3 people. All right. Are you happy with your TRT? How much for that? Yes, I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. Well, it was a lot more when I went to the doctor. When I started with the doctor, it was 600 baht. By the time I ended with the doctor, it was 1,750. Now, for 1,500 baht, I buy a vial of the same stuff that's used at the doctor, and that's 1,490 baht. And then I buy syringes, I buy alcohol, I buy cotton pads, and you only have to buy this once in a great while. But that lasts me about 2.5 months, the vial. So maybe, let's say 4 times a year you have to buy it. That's 1,500 times 4, 6,000 baht. So 6,000 baht just for that. How does rent a wife in Thailand works? It doesn't. In my opinion, if you're renting a wife, like, honey, do you want to be with me? Well, as long as you're paying, this doesn't work, man. I mean, I just don't understand that, I understand giving an allowance. I understand giving an allowance to your wife if that's what you're doing, because I used to do it. I'd give her the money to pay the bills. I'd say, you take care of all the bills. And I'd say, how much is this? How much is that? I'd add it all up in my head. I go, okay. And then I'd give her like an extra 20,000 because she wasn't working. She was staying home with the kids. And I wanted to have her to have a little bit of her own money. She wasn't working. I told her, you stay home and take care of the kids. Now, eventually she came to me and she goes, I want to work. And then she started working. She wasn't making much money. And I was like, well, why don't you just stay home and take care of the kids? You're going to, I give you more money than you're making. She goes, don't worry, I'm going to make more money. And she's worked her way up. And now, I don't say anything. I have an 89-pound American Bully rot mix. So hard to integrate in city condos. Well, you have to get a house then. Well, that's because MGTOW, people don't rent wives. What are you, stupid? Really, you think you can rent a wife? And she's going to give all of herself. She's going to love you. She's going to make passionate love to you and clean your house. Oh my God, like the best cleaning woman. And she's going to be the best cook for you. She's not going to do that. She's going to do what she has to do just to get the job done. That's it. Now, I know in Thailand that, some women, they stay home. The men pay for everything, and it works for them. So whatever works. But if you're going to say rent a wife, that kind of connotates that you are paying for your wife to be your wife instead of her being your wife because she wants to be. To me, the wife needs to want you and you need to want her. When you stop wanting each other, that's when you shouldn't be together anymore. No, it's not a contract. What are you, fucking out of your mind? You sound like what was the guy's name? Oz the Israeli. Oz the Israeli wanted to rent a girl and bring her back to Israel. And I was like, dude, you're out of your mind. She had to convert. She had to do all these things. I'm like, why is she going to do this? And all he was going to do is pay her bills and pay for her to live. And that was it. There is no such thing. Believe me. There's no such thing as a wife that's rented in Thailand. Or anywhere else, for that matter. I mean, maybe you get away with it in some places, but here, you think she's going to do everything for you and be the best that she can be? No. What she'll do is she'll take your money, she'll be all sweet in the beginning, and then when she doesn't have any more money because she overspent, after a week or two, you're going to be like, well, I don't want to give you any more money. I gave you all the money you were supposed to get. Yeah, give me some in advance. Then when she goes to get her check the next month, she doesn't have any money. And she's not going to be sweet. You don't understand the way it works, man. And then think about the guy that came to me. He lived in Israel. He was Canadian. And he was paying 80,000 baht to this girl in Pattaya, and she didn't even want to clean his room or screw him. All right, believe what you want. All right, I don't want to go over this subject with you anymore. I keep telling you, but you don't listen. So don't listen. Do what you want to do, my friend. Jesus Christ. All right. Getting back to everything here. Like I said, you need to eat pretty good. I track everything now. Everything that I eat, I make sure I know what I'm eating. I can look at it and say, this is really healthy for me. I don't have water after 6 o'clock. And, I try to just keep my weight. I try to keep my weight in check or going down. Because it's not accidental, it's trying to achieve my goals. If you're out in midday, whether it's in Bangkok or Suratani especially, Jesus Christ, it's kind of like a death trap, man. You're out there and you're walking around and you're out in the hot sun, there's no shade. That's not when you want to be out. You want to be inside then. You kind of want to learn to work around it. From, say, 11 to 3, usually I'm inside. I'm in the nice, cool air conditioning, whether it's here or at home or wherever I am. Editing, writing, planning, researching things, which, nobody knows I do that, but I do a lot of research. Usually I eat a lunch and it's kind of like a a burger or mackerel, maybe chicken, maybe cucumbers, tomatoes, no sugar bombs, no carbs, nothing to put me asleep. And you know, most of the time the tourists are so bent on spending all their time. They think, well, we've only got this much time, we've got to hurry up. So they will go out in the midday, and then they find that they're melting. They're absolutely melting. And this is the kind of thing that I want to, I mean, usually I'm inside, but I'm ready for it. I know it's coming. And I know that if I go out, I got to go out with a purpose. I don't just waste my time and go out and piddle around. Usually when I go out, I'm scouting for something, I'm shooting for something, I'm working on something, I'm not wandering aimlessly. Hey Bruce, how you doing? The video is called Jenny Talks. Rent a wife in Thailand, how much? Many European and American retired men go to. Okay, let them go to it. Let them see how that works out. Personally, I don't think it works out. I think if you're paying a woman, most of the time, I'm not talking about some prostitute or something. Listen, you get together with some hot chick, maybe she's a little drunk, you're a little drunk, and you guys get together and you like each other, and you're like, oh my God, it's the most fantastic sex ever. But if you were to stay with her long term and she's not drunk all the time and you're not drunk all the time, it might not be that great, or maybe it would be. But I just think that if you want a woman to do all those things, yeah, I guess in some ways, what you can do is you strike up a deal with a woman, and people do this, obviously. They strike up a deal with the woman. They say, listen, I'll take care of you. You know, I'll give you 3 months in advance or whatever, and then I'll give you money every month for yourself. But here's the deal. You got to clean for me. I don't want to have to ask for my food. Of course, you got to take care of the bedroom duties. You've got to do all these things, and you know, I'll give you $30,000 a month. And some girls go, okay, that's fine. And then they're perfectly okay with that. Now, if they're perfectly okay with it, well, then you got yourself a deal. So in that regard, it is kind of contractual, but you know, what's Scott's go-to Thai food, the thing you like the most? Well, what I like the most is not necessarily my go-to. I like pad Thai the most, probably. I don't know why. It's comforting. But now I don't eat it because it's noodles. And a lot of Thai food is just junk. It's garbage. You go outside to the streets, go buy some mu ping. Go buy some gayang. They put stuff on it. Go buy corn. They put sugar on it. They baste it with all kinds of things to where it's not that healthy. They cook things in oil, and that oil is used and overused and used again and again and again. And it's not good oil. It's not something like the highest quality oil. It's the cheapest they can get. Pretty much. That's what they do. So, you know. Yeah, but the thing about burgers, if you're going to eat burgers, don't eat the bread. Just eat the meat patty. That's all you got to eat. Then it's mostly protein and fat. So the bottom line is, when you come here, if you're going to live here, you either adapt to the rhythm of the city, whether it's Bangkok or Chiang Mai or wherever you are, or it breaks you. You know, my main diet in Thailand is boiled and air fried. You meet a lot of people in Bangkok, and most people, if you think about what they're talking about, it's all noise. Very few are talking about things that matter and that you can use in your life, that really matter to people. You think about that. So effectively, you're wasting your money. Your time. Well, time is money. You're wasting your time talking to some people because all they're talking about is, oh man, did you see what Biden did? Did you see what Trump did? Do you know what they did? You know what they're planning on doing? All right, so what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're not going to do a damn thing about it. Hey, did you see that little shop, you know, they're selling something for 5 baht cheaper now. Yeah, but it costs you 20 baht to go over there. 50 baht to go over there. Why are you going to go there? You know, little things like that. They're just killing time, man. That's all it is. Maybe that's why my wife doesn't talk that much. She told me, she goes, if I don't really have something useful to say, I don't want to say it. She's got a point, you know. A lot of expats, well, I know several that are doing this, and I would say that probably I've done this in the past, and most expats try to relive their youth. Yeah. They want to relive what it was like when they were young. So that's something. The other thing is that you got to remember that when locals smile at you, sometimes they have a reason and a motive why they're smiling at you. Even the women. You see some woman and she sees you and she's smiling at you. Well, maybe she has a motive. Oh, let me see if I can get this guy and I can, you know, get something out of him. You just don't know. Vendors, drivers, cafe workers, you see them daily, but you don't really know them. I mean, listen, I used to talk to all the girls at Starbucks. I knew a little bit about them. I knew more than most people knew about them because I would stand there, sit there, whatever, and talk to them for a half an hour when there was nobody in Starbucks. But did I really know them? No. I asked them to go out for tequila once and they jumped at it. They're like, okay, let's go. When? And then I just went, oh, Jesus Christ. And I never did go out with them because I thought, oh, that's going to get me in trouble, man. I was just joking around. And they wanted to go out. And then I thought, well, then I'll really get to know them and then it might be a problem. So, you know, if you remember that you don't really know them and sometimes you don't really want to know them. You know, I mean, how many girls that are on the job, they're working, how many girls do you really want to get to know because she's got a nice body? I don't know about you, but me, it doesn't happen. Thai culture is polite and indirect and sometimes rather guarded. And if you come here and you're here for a little while, you get to read the room rather quickly, and you start to learn about who's in power, who's not in power, who's the weasel of the group, who's not. And you know, I always try to keep it friendly with the Thais, even if there's something that I don't like. I always try to keep it friendly, but I'm not here to play games with them. I got no time for their bullshit, but I just remember to keep it friendly and try to do whatever I can to avoid a situation, and it's done really well for me most of the time. The problems that I've had in the past were because of miscommunication, and maybe I'd get pissed off, and then the next thing you know, we're almost brawling. And I mean, this went with women too. Some women, they'd be like screaming at you, and I was like, oh shit, why are they screaming at me? But it's because of the miscommunication. They think you mean one thing and you think they mean something else, and you're not even on the same page. You know, if someone keeps it real, that's about all you can ask. You know, and usually I give them my time for that. You know, I mean, if somebody's real, what more do you want? That's kind of a rarity. And you know, I have my routine now. It's my energy, my peace, my, you know, whatever. And I guard this, man. And that's why now people ask me, oh, you want to come over and meet me over here and we'll have a coffee? Yes, I have. And I say, no, I don't really want to. If you want, you come over to me. Because I don't want to waste my time going over to see somebody that maybe I don't even know. And then I got to spend all my time sitting in traffic to come home. And then I'm talking to them. I'm not getting much out of them. They're getting stuff out of me. So why do I want to go? Because, you know, they want to talk about Thailand. Oh, what do you think about this? Oh, where would you go? What recommendations do you have? So, you know, sometimes you just gotta spot the fakes, and you gotta try to do it relatively quickly. That way you don't waste time. What is this? No, you don't eat the bun. That's what I say. You don't eat the bun. Not half the bun. You don't eat the bun. See, that's where it goes south. Oh, well, you know what? I'm only going to have one piece of chocolate. I'm only going to have this one slice of chocolate cake. Okay, you keep doing what you want to do. I think you have to be rather strict about it, you know. So, evenings, generally, for me, they're for recovery. I don't go out much in the evenings. The times that I do go out, I go out with my wife. Almost exclusively now. I don't usually go out with my buddies. Maybe once, like once in a year, I might go out with a buddy at night. But maybe with my wife, I might go out like every other month. We go out somewhere at night, or if we're somewhere else, you know, we're in Vietnam or we're wherever we are, then I'll go out with her at night. I just don't do it. It's evenings are generally for recovering physically, mentally, you know, emotionally, financially, all these different ways. That's what it's for. If I need to rest a little to get my head back to equilibrium, well, I still feel clear. That's what I do. And then for dinner, maybe I have a piece of fish. Lately, almost every dinner I have is a piece of fish. Salmon, grouper, barramundi. I might have some tomatoes, some cucumber, and some hot tea. No snacks, no sugar. I'm not trying to undo everything that I've done during the day. I prep for live streams. I check my YouTube again, check the revenue, check the views, and I think about what is next. And you know, I got a place I'm going down in the south in it's in about 5 weeks. And I got to do a lot of research. So I know where to go, how to spend my time most effectively, you know, and I think I'll have a good time. I think it'll be interesting. I think you guys might be interested. Hopefully I'll be able to get some footage in one place because there's no Wi-Fi, no 5G, no nothing. But a camera works, so that might be good. Yeah, and you know, while I like to relax, I also like to reload. I like to power up, recharge my batteries. And that starts from early in the evening all the way till when I wake up. You know, I spend time with my wife, of course, with my kids, but I'm always thinking about 2 months in advance. I'm thinking about a year in advance. I'm thinking about a day in advance. I'm thinking about 3 days, whatever. I'm always thinking about things in advance because I don't want to drift in Bangkok. I don't want to just become this blob of shit that all I do is sit around and do nothing. I don't want to do that because if you're doing nothing, you're dying, in my opinion. Or you're getting soft. So, you know, when I do the videos, when I do the walks, when I go on walk and talks, when I do the coffees, whether it's here or somewhere else, you don't really see anything else. All you see is I just come on, boom, you know, maybe I get a couple bucks or whatever, maybe I don't, whatever. But I'm thinking about my sons, my health, my money. Am I safe? Is everything going to be okay? Is the channel prospering? Is it growing? Is it even worth it? And let me tell you, there have been times when I thought this shit ain't worth it. I'm doing this for what? There's a million other people that go over to Thailand, you know. Now, they don't do it the same way I do it, and maybe that's good. Maybe, you know, the way I do it is good. I don't know. But I think about, you know, once I'm done, are my kids and my wife, are they the ones who are going to remember me and really remember me 100%? They're not going to just go, well, there's daddy's ashes. All right. And then they just go about their business and never think of me. I want them to think about me every day, even though I won't know about it. But you got to stay focused here, man. And, you know, I came to that conclusion a short while ago. You have to stay focused. You cannot get distracted here. You need to know what you want, how you want to do it, and you need to just do it. No matter what. It's just like going to the gym. Or now using the elastic band. Jesus Christ. To try to get yourself a little bit healthier. You don't want to do it, but guess what? You just have to do it. Just go. I don't give a fuck what I eat. I don't want to live forever. And while I'm here, I'll be damned if I don't eat what I like and I want. Okay, so good for you. No Wi-Fi sounds good. With traffic in the city, we like to be home early if we're out during the day. Yeah, I don't like to be out at night at like 8 o'clock at night, sitting at Saturn trying to get home. I don't like that. I don't want that. I just don't want to be out at night. I mean, listen, the other day when Chuck met me here, he said, I'll be there at 1:30. I said, Chuck, why you got to be here at 1:30? Because I know I'm not going to get out of here until 4 o'clock. And I'm like, you know, yeah, all right, it's within my window, but barely. I was like, why don't you show up around, you know, 11? We can have lunch or something. No, I'll be sleeping. And, you know, all right, whatever. Too many YouTube channels with bullshit. Yes. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. And there's so many, really, here's the thing. Nowadays, there's so many AI channels, not just about Thailand, but about many other subjects. And if I see those, I hit thumbs down immediately. I don't want to hear their AI bullshit, because that's what it is. It's bullshit. You know, I don't want to get involved in that whole AI thing. Either make the video or, you know, yeah, the AI channels are really, really bad. Hello from Sapa, Vietnam. Well, I'd like to know what you think about Sapa. Really, I would. I would like to know about Sapa, because everybody that's I know who has gone there has said it's a tourist trap. Oh, it's beautiful, but it's a tourist trap. And I hate that kind of place, and that's why I won't go there. I've been a lot of places in Vietnam, but I'm not going to Sapa. Listen, I went to Ha Long Bay. Never again. It won't happen. I'm not going back. Sleeping at 11 a.m., that's like me at 16. Now I am up and going by 9 a.m. for the stock market. Food is happiness. Yeah, all right. Another cliche statement. Food is happiness. A lot of things are happiness. Getting laid is happiness. Doing a good job is happiness. Finding a place that nobody else wants to be is happiness. Now, hopefully, I have found a place that is fairly known, but not many people are there. That could be very cool. No, it's not. It's not 100 degrees out, not where I am. It's only 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees right now. 78 is the humidity. It's been nice. It was very nice when I went out this morning, so I'm not complaining about the temperature. And I'll be honest, I have not been sweating nearly as much as I used to. For whatever reason. Love Sapa, relaxing, nice weather. One side of the town is more local. Come to the week, during the week, Monday through Thursday, very quiet. Okay. I went to Dollar General, Family Dollar, and Dollar Tree today and got a shitload of all kinds of delicious and unhealthy food. Yeah, you're the kind of guy that we want to reform. Why the hell do you want to eat unhealthy food? Let me ask you something, MGTOW. You say you're MGTOW. So you don't have a girlfriend, you're not getting laid, nothing? Or you just like the lady boys, which you pay for? I'm curious. You know, if you think that this place offers a lot of freedom, and some people do, just remember something. You got to earn that freedom every single day. It's not going to just come to you because, oh, well, this is what I want. It's not like that, you know. If you want real freedom, you better manage it like a business. You really need to control it and be in charge of it. So, you know. And this really, you know, I go out maybe once or twice a week and shoot some footage. Maybe I use it, maybe I don't. Sometimes I go out and stream. I'm out on the street. Sometimes I go run errands. You know, but I'd say maybe once or twice a week I get out of here. And then the rest of the times I have my routine. And that's what I do now. And I'm very happy with it. I'm very set in my ways. And, you know, that's, to me, this is what life looks like in Bangkok. You know, when you're not playing games. I got things that I need to get done that I want to have done. And, you know, I'm going to get them done. I weigh like 135, 140. I've eaten unhealthy, lived off of fast food for too many years. Well, just because you're healthy on the outside doesn't mean you're healthy on the inside. Oh, God. You have no idea. Dude, first of all, they buy in such a huge quantity. And the food that they make, you think about it. They got rice. Rice costs next to nothing. A cup of rice is almost nothing, right? Costs very little. They buy a bag of rice for dirt cheap, 120, 150 baht. So what's 1 cup out of 5 kilos? Costs next to nothing. An egg is maybe 4 baht. That's it. Then they mix a little bit of meat in there. All right, that might cost 6, 7 baht. So their whole meal might cost 15 baht. And they're charging you 50 baht. They might get some sugar, make a sauce out of stuff like, you know, with mu ping and corn and all these other kind of foods. But what I find is most of the time, the food is not healthy. It's unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. It has MSG, you know, sugar, bad oil. They just have all kinds of bad food there. I guess the food is not happiness when you're 60 plus and got to eat specialty diet fishes. No, it has nothing to do with that. I love the food I eat. because it's really healthy, and I know, and you know what? I feel better. And I always feel better. When I used to fight, I used to eat really healthy, and I used to go, this is fantastic. I feel like I'm on another level. And just because you're 60 and over and you're eating well doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a little shit food once in a while. If I really wanted to eat a piece of cake, I would. But now why do I want to? For what reason? I don't get any happiness out of eating a piece of chocolate cake. You're right, man. Street food in Thailand, every time I eat it, I feel like shit, and I'm a healthy person by nature, so I can tell they're not using good oil. It's not just the oil. Well, sometimes they boil certain foods, like they have. We had boiled shrimp at the house about a week ago. We had boiled shrimp, and I had a piece of fish, and I said, I'm going to have this fish. I'm going to have cucumbers. I'm going to have cherry tomatoes, and I went, all right, well, this is what I'll have. I'll have a glass of tea with some mint in it. And then they said, oh, we have shrimp. And I said, well, how are you cooking it? Boiling it. It's in the water. Okay. I had like 8 pieces of shrimp and the fish and the cucumber in it. And I went, this is healthy. This is great. The last 9 years, I hardly ever eat fast food, maybe 3-4 times a year. Now I eat at home. I've gotten a gut now, but that came way after the fast food. I'm definitely in that rat race. Not sure when I'll be able to pull the trigger on freedom that Thailand offers, but your content helps on those commutes into work. Well, thank you. I find that my favorite dinner dishes are healthy wild fish dishes with vegetables. They use palm oil to fry everything. Palm oil is one of the unhealthiest oils. Yeah, and I don't do that. I use olive oil. And I don't use very much of it. I use just enough. And olive oil can be quite good for you. So, fast food is expensive pretty much everywhere. You know? I mean, if I want a triple burger to make it to where it's a decent size and I'm getting a good meal, and with fries and a shake or something, it might be 400 baht here. That's almost 15 bucks. In Bangkok. It's ridiculous. Too much seafood is bad. Mercury, man. Gotta limit that mercury intake. Okay, listen. I have a feeling I'm going to die before the mercury gets to me. That's how I feel. I wouldn't eat the rice, man. You know, I used to tell the fighters, you want to drop weight easier and you don't want to have to cut weight, and you're like, oh God, I'm so weak, I don't feel good, you don't want to cry about it. And most of them don't cry about it, but you know, they're in a shitty mood. I'm like, stop eating 100% rice and then cutting and trying to lose 10 pounds in 6 hours. Because that's not what you should do. Cut it back to 0 or cut it back into half of the rice. And okay, you're better. Typically food courts in Thailand are pretty good. I don't know how good the quality of the ingredients that they use there. Think about it. They're there to make money. Big Mac is like $8 in New York, and a meal is around $15 to $17. Well, here it's probably around $10. Almost $10, anywhere from say 7 to 10. But if you eat something a little out of the ordinary, it might cost you $12 to $15. It's insane. Good luck spending under $10. I am in a cheap part of states. I always said once a value meal is $10, it's time to get out. $10 to me is not a value. But I don't eat that shit anymore. I don't go to any fast food restaurants. They go to a fast food restaurant, like, you know, the other day, my wife got McDonald's for the kids. I go, why'd you get them this? We have food here. You should have just gone, I didn't want to cook anything. I said, well, you tell them to cook. What's the problem? You know. So she got it, and they whipped out all these fish burgers and double cheeseburgers and fries and all this other stuff. I didn't touch it. I use seaweed oil because it's such a smoking temperature point. Good pan fry an expensive steak. Well, I what do you call it? Sear the steak and put it in an air fryer, and it works great. Burger King, KFC is much better in Thailand than the U.S. Real glasses and plates. See, that doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. I mean, I want glasses and plates, and I can't stand when you go to a coffee shop and all they have is paper cups. That's it, because they're scared you're going to steal the dishes. I hate that. When was the last time you ate at a McDonald's? It's been months, many months. At least 6 months. And I don't think it was McDonald's. I think it was KFC. I've come to Thailand since 2015. I've seen the inflation go up everywhere, and I don't think Thailand is that cheap like everyone says, especially if you want to live a quality lifestyle. Well, this is the difference. Oh, you can get by on food, and it's only 50 or 60 baht for a meal. Okay, you do that 3 times. Let's say that you spend 80 baht on your meal with a drink. That's 240 baht. That's 7,200 baht per month eating Thai food. Nothing but Thai food. Now, you will get tired of that Thai food. It always happens. You will. You're going to get tired of it. You're going to want other types of food, other cuisine. You might want Italian. You might want Japanese. You might want German. You know. Why do you call your sons the kids? They are full-grown men. Don't worry about it. I spent 200 to 300 baht just on fruit alone every day. I don't know how you spend 300 baht on fruit every day, but okay. Oh, by the way, we got 2 boxes of durian delivered to us yesterday from the farm. Like 20 durian. And my wife said, "Oh, they're not all for us." And I said, "What?" She goes, "No, I'll give some to the neighbors." And she goes, "And I gotta sell some to this hotel. They want durian and they want to buy it." I'm like, "All right, you make a couple thousand baht. It's not bad, you know." What is Thai red? What? I don't understand. Tired? What is that supposed to be? I don't understand. You make no sense to me, man. Your sense of humor with your ladyboys is a little bit different than I'm used to. Yeah, why don't you just write tired? Everything's got to have Thai in it. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. You know, that's the thing. I don't know how they got it here. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Italian food is cheap in Thailand. Cheeses and cured meat are cheap now. And pasta noodles are easy to buy too. Pasta noodles are easy. Cured meat is probably cheaper than the U.S., but it's not that cheap. And if you get some good cheese, I'm talking about imported cheese or really a name, like not a name brand, but a type of cheese that it's besides Gouda, cheddar, and Swiss, it'll cost you a little bit of money. And I generally bring, I buy cheddar, Gouda, Edam, or Edam, and sometimes I buy Swiss. But I buy small amounts of it, but it's the good type. Most of the time I don't even know. I mean, I had some, what's it called, Denver steak the other day. I had, what was that type of steak that I had? Son of a bitch, I don't remember. It was a steak that was comparable with Denver steak. Didn't realize that jackfruit isn't really a fruit. It had a jar of vinegar. I had some in a jar of vinegar. It was like a vegetable. Jackfruit and durian, the two most dangerous fruits. They fall on your head, you're dust. Listen, I got a video, hopefully I'll put it up in the next week. It's of my brother-in-law catching durian from about 50 feet up in the tree. Her sister was cutting the durian. She cuts the durian, holds onto the stem, and then aims it down on the to where he is on the ground and drops it. He's got a burlap bag. He catches it with the burlap bag, which the durian hits it and sticks to it because it's so sharp. So he's like this, and he catches the durian. It sticks right on there, and he catches, and he did that. He probably missed about 3 times out of 160. Beef prices in the state went up to $7 for basic stuff like ground beef. Well, the ground beef they're selling here is 250 baht, so that's $5.50 or so, something like that. Look up a Denver steak. My price for fruits in Bangkok, B-A-T-T, bat, 60, oh, baht. 60 baht for mangoes, an entire watermelon for 60 to 100 baht, pineapple 60 baht. Okay, I got you. I don't know where you're getting them from, but crazy. I'll be interested in watching that video. Okay. Bring back the chowder head. No, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Remember that. I'm not the same guy I was back then. And I don't want to do the same things. It's just like somebody who does a series on TV and he goes, that's it, I'm out. Ricky Gervais is great at that. He's like, I'm doing 3 seasons and that's it, no more. Well, that's what I did. Anyway, let me get into this last bit here. So, you know, what Bangkok looks like, Bangkok life looks like for people, it's different, of course. You can live, as we've seen, you can live off of, 60,000 baht. You can live off of 40,000 baht. You can live off of less if you really want to, but that's not really living, in my opinion. Never having the option to eat something that's really, really high quality, I just don't understand that. Yeah, thank you. You know, I'm not here now to play games. And, you know, there's no red light district for me. There's no sugar-coated fantasy. When I go to the beach, I know I'm going to the beach. It's purposeful. I set out to go to the beach because I want to go to the beach. It's routine. It's discipline. I'm a lot more aware now. And while I can live frugally, I tell my wife all the time, she'll be like, oh, I got to buy some clothes for this event. I'm like, you got plenty of clothes. How much are you going to spend? 2,000 baht. I'm like, 2,000 baht, you got to spend that money? And she'll go, well, I want to get a new pair of shoes. How much is that? 299 baht. Okay, you can get that. You know, you live cheap, but you're not poor. And you live simple, but you're not soft. And, you know, in the beginning, what a lot of guys do, they come here and chase the women, you know, they think they've got some status, and they're all excited. And really, you know, you're dealing, I hate to say this, but it is true. And they're only out to make a buck. You can't fault them for it. But you're dealing with, these girls are not going to be rocket scientists. They're not going to work their way out of the brothel and become a brain surgeon. They're just not. It doesn't work that way. You know, so when you are dealing with them, that's what you're dealing. Some of them, they can barely read and write. Now, most of them can, because Thailand is fairly literate, at least in Thai. But I remember going out to dinner with a girl to a restaurant. She had never been to a nice restaurant, and it wasn't that nice, but it was nice. And she didn't know how to use her fork and knife. She didn't know where everything went. She was like, can you show me? You know. So, you know, that's the thing. I'm not here for the women. Yeah, okay, I've had my share of them. But I'm here because I like the life that I built for myself. And all these people are like, well, you know, you're so lucky. Well, yeah, I'm lucky. But I also did it myself. Every choice I've made contributes to me living here. And some people don't want to live here. Okay, that's fine. Well, then go ahead, get out of here, or don't come here, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you know what? The only thing I care about is me. Call me selfish. All I care about is me. Everybody else, they can do what they want. They have their own lives. It's just like my kids. My wife will be trying to help my kids with something, and I go, they don't need your help. Leave them alone. Let them do what they want to do. Alex comes to me, and he says, I don't have to go to work on Friday. I said, really? Why not? He goes, I don't know. He goes, they just told me that Friday we have the day off. I'm like, are you sure? And they said, yeah, I'm sure. I said, okay, so what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going away with my friends. I said, what do you mean you're going away? Yeah, I'm taking a little trip. I said, well, where are you going? I'm not going to tell you right now, but it's not all that far. And I said, well, let me know as soon as you know. Okay, I will. So what am I going to say? You can't go? Kid's been to Japan by himself. He can find his way around. He's Thai, so what am I going to say? I'm like, you going with a chick? Oh, no. I don't know if he is or not. I have no freaking idea. But I have my own rhythm here, my own freedom, my own direction. And you know what? It's up to him to do that for himself. You know, but don't be fooled. Thailand will not fix you. Bangkok is not going to hand you peace. You're not going to get that just by coming here. It's not going to work that way. What does this say here? Let's see here. What is this? Wait a minute. What is this? Gabe, if you were the one asking about Adderall, it's not on the approved list for Thailand. Even with a prescription, according to the internet, you can buy it in Thailand in a different form. Yeah, but my point is, if you're only bringing in enough for, say, a week, they're not going to say anything. Generally, they're not going to, like, and if they did do anything, they would take them away from you. And then you just buy them here. But most of the time, they're not going to say anything. Now, if you had, 1,000 of them, that's a different story. Financial independence is very important for people before they decide to retire or move. Yes. It's a good thing I'm trying to expand another part of my body other than their mind. Myself, that's the dream, and that's why I want to work towards a place in Vietnam and a place in Thailand. Okay. Gotta have a plan, boys and girls. You mean men and women? It's a thing for a bar girl to take food photos in a fancy restaurant. It's not just the bar girls, my friend. I hate to tell you that. You go to a nice restaurant, you got a nice dish sitting in front of you. A lot of people want to take photos of it, including myself sometimes. Robert, you holding your musty and ulti strong. I don't know what that means. It's a thing for Asian girls to take photos in a... Some Gabe, yes sir, not my first rodeo, though I don't trust this market one bit. Can say that again. Tariff day tomorrow. Oh well. Tariff's going to be what it is here. 19% or whatever. Okay, whatever. That's how it goes. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not going to worry about it. And, if I got to make some changes, then that's what I got to do. Listen, if you're broken, this place is going to chew you up faster than the West ever did. And if you're focused, if you're the type who's focused, disciplined, if you know who you are, then you have a really good chance of just building something here, getting on your feet, and making a life for yourself, which is sort of what I've done, and that's what I just keep doing. I'm a little more focused now, and I think it's because I'm older and I realize time is not infinite. So every single day I work on it now, and I remember, hey, you could be gone tomorrow. You better keep working at what you're doing because you got to get to where you want before you croak. You know, the market at best is going sideways, if not a slightly downward trend. If you zoom out, most of the money is in cash right now, getting 4% interest. I sell some puts here and there with, whatever. Very nice. All right, so please remember to hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe if you have not already. You're welcome, bud. No problem. We're going to have some more videos from the farm. The betel nut, the durian, and the walk around, and I think there might be one other thing. I'm not sure. Maybe the market, but the market is... if you want to help support the channel, hit the join button down below. You can get into the VIP section of the channel for $1.99, as little as $1.99. So there you go. Sheriff. If you're into self-help, you will find that mental health therapists who speaks English well are affordable in Bangkok. Okay, but what do I need to go get my mental health check for? I don't need that, but thank you. And I will tell you something that actually it's really interesting for me, because I'll tell you something. There's about, what is this? This is about 18% of people in Thailand have experienced mental health problems, with people aged 45 to 49, known as the pre-senior group, report the lowest happiness levels according to the Thai Health Report 2025. The report was compiled by the Thai Health Promotion Foundation and Mahidol University, their Institute for Population and Social Research, and was released on Monday. Comprises 4 sections, including mental health and major public health issues. On mental health, 10 key indicators are shown reflecting mental health trends and risk factors. The pre-senior group reported the lowest level of happiness, which reflects emotional vulnerability during transactions. People 15 to 29 are more at risk for stress, anxiety, depression, and suicidal tendencies due to academic pressure, fear of missing out, FOMO, family violence, and social expectations. The report also identified 10 major health issues for 2025. The social and health impacts of the proposed alcohol law amendments. I don't know how that's an issue. Danger from e-cigarettes. Okay. Confusion surrounding medical cannabis policy. I guess people are freaking out about that. And concerns over the possible legalization of casinos. Its special feature explores the country's low birth rate due to economic and social changes and the incentives adopted in other countries, which are still failing to raise the birth rate. So there is a mental issue, and it's about 18% of all people in Thailand have reported some sort of mental issue here. So that's interesting to see. But I don't need any English-speaking person. I don't need a Thai-speaking person. I know I'm nuts, and I'll just be that way for the rest of my life. That's fine. How much was it with the tariff? I don't know. Over $7. Oh, well. I don't even know what it cost here. It's been that high for 5 years. I only buy it to make a hot spam dish. I don't eat that now. Thank you, bud. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Only 18%, should be much higher in other countries. I got some like a year or two ago. It's in a plastic can. It seemed different than the old-fashioned metal can. They have metal cans here. So I don't know what he's talking about, but I thought you couldn't get it here. And then I saw it at M. Courtier, and I bought him a can. And I was like, he told me they have it here, and I was like, what's the problem? So it's available. Anyway. So, you know, day-to-day life here, it's different for everybody. No, I don't eat Spam. I haven't eaten Spam for probably 45 years. It's been that long. Which is, I don't miss it. I remember it, but I don't miss it. I have no idea. I don't know about the U.S. You guys are asking me about the U.S. I don't know about the U.S. I don't live there. I haven't lived there for a long time. More than 3 decades. And I have no idea. Listen, you know, I didn't want Biden, and I think that there are people, I don't know who they are, that could be better at being president than Trump. They could carry themselves a little better. But he is what he is, and I didn't want Biden. And that's all I'll say. Now, does it really matter to me? Well, of course it matters in a small way. I care if he doesn't take anything away from me or make me pay something that I shouldn't, or I don't think I should have to pay. But other than that, I don't care about America. I just don't. I don't have time to care about it. I care about Thailand. I mean, you know, I don't know how much clearer I could be about it. And Spam is like I don't even think about eating that stuff. It is garbage food. I don't even know what's in it. It's like a ham to me, but with a bunch of other stuff in it. I don't really know what's in it. And, you know, well, Lumpini Stadium was converted many years ago. Let me see something here. Okay, it was there from 1956 to 2014. All right, and now it's at Ram Intra. And I'll be honest, I've never ever been to the new Lumpini. It's too far. I don't know how you can call Lumpini Stadium when you're not even near Lumpini. I have no idea how they did that, but you know, it's been around for 70 years. What is it? Rajdamnern's been around for 71. You know, it's a little out of the way now, and I like the old Lumpini because they had boxing there, and I would go there, and you know, I had media credentials for Lumpini Stadium and Rajdamnern. So if I wanted to go, anytime they had boxing there, I could go with my camera, show my press pass, walk right in, go right on. I'd be laying on the canvas or standing up in the corner or whatever. I could do that all the time with all the other Thai guys that were doing it. It was great. There were no foreigners back then that had media credentials for Lumpini or Rajdamnern. But I used to go there and take photos. I took a shitload of photos. And I loved it there because they had the fence in the back that kept people from throwing things when they were gambling, because they used to gamble and they just let them gamble there. And they had the fence up so people couldn't throw things at the fighters and the people around the ring. And I really liked it. The new one doesn't have that. So it's a bit different. Most people would never guess it was World War II. They were rationed it in Hawaii. Okay. Teriyaki and maple syrup Spam is delicious. Of course it's bad. So is a lot of stuff. Jalapeno Spam is also pretty good. I like Taylor ham, aka pork roll. Okay. Spam is processed pork. Okay. I've never been in a Thai stadium. The one in Myanmar was brutally hot, but a cool experience. Yeah, that was really, really hot there. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. My camera kept shutting off because the humidity was so bad. And then after that, I got a sealed camera. I got a weather sealed camera. Well, good seats are not 1,000 baht now. They're something like 1,500 to 2,000. Anyway, all right, guys. It's been fun. You know, it's been real. Very nice. I got things to do on my day-to-day life here in Bangkok. Things to do, places to go, people to see. The ring ropes are, they're always blocking the view in most of the stadiums. Maybe not in Rajdamnern if you're up in the high seats, but I wouldn't want to be there. I like being close. Anyway. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll see you next week. Not sure. We'll see. Maybe next Thursday. I have some things planned, like I said. And yeah, I want to get the videos up from down in the south. And no, we couldn't. Why not? We couldn't get much closer there. We were very lucky. I mean, you know, I don't think he fights anymore. I don't know. It was interesting, you know. I mean, I've seen a lot of fights there, and the ones that we saw were good, but they weren't the best. I've seen some just totally brutal. I mean, guys headbutting each other and slicing their heads open, and just all kinds of brutal stuff, man. But, you know, now I'm not really into it as much. No problem, bud. I appreciate it. Oh, of course he was good. He was good. He was really good. You know. I think he's still married to that same girl. You know. She's not letting him out of her hands. But he was a nice guy. He was always cool to me. And you know, she's very pretty. You know. Anyway, I think it is about time to go. So I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for coming. I will see you again whenever that is. I don't know, Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, I don't know. I'll see you when I see you. That's how it works. Now you hear there's a little bit more noise now. And that is my cue to say, exit stage right. Anyway, all right, I will talk to you guys later. Take care. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Till next time, choke di leo jerk and my. Good luck and see you later. Take care and all that good stuff. All right? Adios. Later.